Welcome to Missouri Sports Talk. I'm your host, Cameron Staley, and today we've got small school predictions, 8-man class 1, 2, and 3. So it is the playoffs, which means there's not 12 games in each class now. So we'll pick that back up during basketball. I put out a poll on Instagram seeing if anybody wanted me to put all these back together in a Thursday video or keep it split between small and large. And, everybody voted for it to be split. So here's some extra work for me continuing to do the 3 videos, which is okay. That's what I signed up for. But let's go ahead with the 8-man scoreboard. We will start with Bramer versus Wellington Napoleon Friday night. You guys know that Bramer, they're my state championship pick. So, I'm not going to go against them, obviously. So I will take Bramer by 18 points in this game. Lockwood versus Greenfield. Greenfield had a solid game last week. Austin Pickett led the way for them. And, they had a good game, but I think it ends here. Lockwood's a really good team. I think that they make it to the state quarterfinals. Bishop LeBlond versus Plattsburgh. I believe this is a rematch from earlier on in the season. I can't remember if I took Plattsburgh winning that game or not, but Bishop LeBlond ended up winning it. I remember that much. And they're a really solid team. I think they continue to roll, so give me LeBlond by 8. They will end up hosting a state quarterfinal game. I didn't mention that with Bramer. I believe they will as well. Rockport versus West Nodaway. I think this is the game to play Bishop LeBlond if they make it past Plattsburgh, obviously. It should be fun. It really should be. I guess we'll see what happens there. It's up in the air. These are 2 good football teams. Overall, I feel like Rockport is my team here for the district championship. That one's a toss-up, though. I can't remember if they played or not this year, but I will take Rockport by 4 points. Albany versus Worth County. I actually got to talk to somebody who used to go to Albany, goes to Helias now. Shout out to Noah Doolittle. He said that Worth County is a little iffy. They're the copies of Albany. So I don't know if that was the bias talking there, saying that Albany is the better school or not, but I do think they're the better football team. Worth County sitting at 9-2, Albany 10-0. I believe Albany's 2 or 3 in the media polls. I think they continue to roll. I'll take Albany by 7, though. I think that ends up being a close game. In the 8-man game of the week, this is also the Missouri Sports Talk game of the week. Archie versus Appleton City. This one's going to be so fun. Appleton City is coming off of 102 points scored against Drexel last week. They did let up 74, though. So I've got a feeling this is going to be a really high-scoring game. I will take Archie. Obviously, I always take the home team for every game that I go to. Archie, the defending state champions in the 8-man, they have a really, really big chance of doing it once again, going back-to-back. We'll see on that, though. They need to worry about the district championship first, and I will be there to record it. Class 1 scoreboard. We'll start with Penny and West Platte. I took Polo over West Platte in an upset, and then I also decided to take Polo over Penny in an upset, and we see where we're at on that one. Polo not in the game. So I have to go back to the drawing board on this one. I will take Penny winning. I'll say 5 points. Marionville versus Pierce City. I think you guys know I'm really high on Marionville. They're my Class 1 championship pick. Pierce City, I've been way too low on this year, I must say. There's been games that I think they're going to lose pretty badly and they end up winning. There's been some games that I think they're going to win and they either win close or end up losing. That's just the name of the game, though. I'm gonna pick against them again, though. Obviously, that. This is my Class 1 state picks. If they're able to beat Marionville, maybe I shouldn't even say maybe. I will change my mind if they beat Marionville. I'll show a lot more respect to this Eagle team. I think that Marionville wins by 18, though. Westran versus Harrisburg. I'm going to take an upset in this one. Westran, I believe they're the 2 seed in the district. And, they're a good football team. They started off really rough. But I just, I got to take some upsets here and there, right? So give me Harrisburg by 1 point. I think it ends up being a crazy game. We'll see how that one goes. In the same district, Tipton versus Salisbury. Salisbury, I believe, sitting at 8-2. Tipton, 1 loss. That one happens to be to Lamar, which is a really good football team. You guys know that. And, I'm taking Tipton as my state runner-ups, and I'm not changing it. So give me Tipton by 14. Adrian versus Ash Grove. I believe this is 9-1 Adrian. Yep, and 8-2 Ash Grove. So both these teams are really amazing this year. I think that Adrian has the upper hand. They've played a tough schedule, so has Ash Grove, but I think Adrian just overall ends up being the better team in this one. So give me Adrian by 8 points. In the Class 1 game of the week, this one is on Saturday. St. Vincent versus Van Far. St. Vincent is sitting at number 1 in the media polls. I believe Van Far is sitting in the 4 to 6 range. And, both these teams are really great. Big shout out to Tyson Douglas. I feel like I say his name every single week in the reviews with this stat line because he is Van Far's offense. He's a great player. And St. Vincent's got some dogs. They've returned their all-state tackle, first-team tackle. So, they're rolling. There's not a lot that you can say other than they're the number 1 team in Class 1 in the media polls. That's all you really need to hear. So it sucks because I like Van Far. I tried to go out to see him this year. It unfortunately didn't work out. But, hey, maybe if they get past this game, I'll go see him. But that's besides the point. They got to worry about this one. I do think that St. Vincent ends up winning this one, though. Class 2 scoreboard. We'll start with South Shelby versus Monroe City. I had somebody ask me to go to this game. I was like, yeah, probably not. I don't know. I feel like this one's not going to be super close, so I will take South Shelby by 17. Lafayette County versus Father Tolton. I'm sorry to say it to all my Tolton fans out there, if I actually have any. I feel like Lafayette County is just an absolute buzzsaw. And Fairgrove may be the only team that can stop them. So I am going to take Lafayette County by 23. If they get past Fairgrove, if they can beat Fairgrove at Fairgrove, I think Lafayette County wins the state championship. Let's keep talking about Fairgrove. How about that? They're playing Liberty Mountain View this week, 11-0 versus 9-2. I like Fairgrove a lot. I took them as my Class 2 state champs, so I'm going to ride with that. Give me the Eagles by 17. Herman hosting Bowling Green. This is interesting. Bowling Green, I feel like, is the better team. And I'm sorry to say it to all the Herman guys. They've got a really good football team as well, but Bowling Green's different, and they are every single year. That hasn't changed one bit, and it was kind of the strength of schedule that found them the 2 seed. I really think that they're the number 1 team in the district, so I will take Bowling Green by 20. I don't mean that in any disrespect to Herman. That's just Bowling Green being a great football team. Valley Catholic versus Caruthersville. Both these teams only have 1 loss this year. Both of them are very amazing football teams. This one's going to be a slobber knocker, I think. I am taking Valley Catholic as my state championship runner-ups, though, so I feel like that's my obvious answer right there. Give me Valley Catholic by 13 points. Brookfield hosting Mid-Buchanan in the district championship is easily the Class 2 game of the week. Shout out to all my Brookfield people. Easily the best place that I've been this year. I had an amazing time at Brookfield, but Mid-Buchanan is a buzzsaw. So I'm sorry to say it. I think the Dragons get this one done. And, that one's going to be fireworks. 0 losses combined for both teams in this game. I believe it is 10-0 Brookfield, 11-0 Mid-Buchanan. That's going to be a fun game. That one's going to be really entertaining. Class 3 scoreboard. We'll start with Seneca and Forsyth. I'm not high on Forsyth, I must say. So give me Seneca by 25. Blair Oaks versus Boonville. Some people could argue that this is the Class 3 game of the week. When they played in Week 5, I made it to Class 3 game of the week, and I said Blair Oaks by 18. They ended up winning 62-0. So I feel like we won't see something like that again, but it could be sort of along the lines. Like I said, I don't know if Blair Oaks could quite get to that performance again, so I will take the Falcons by 31. Odessa versus Oak Grove. I believe they played already this year. This is 6-4 versus 7-4. Odessa went on a pretty bad streak. I think they lost 4 straight, and it just wasn't. Maybe it was 3 straight, but they just weren't looking great there towards the end of the season, and then they turned it around, obviously. I believe they're on a 2-game win streak. I think they make it 3. Give me Odessa by 12. Dexter versus St. Genevieve. St. Genevieve just took down the defending Class 3 state champions last week in the district semifinals. I really did not expect that. Central, they're having a down year. They lost a lot of seniors, a lot of good seniors, but I felt like they're still a really solid team. St. Genevieve ends up getting the upset, but I am taking Dexter as my state championship runner-ups. So obviously I'm taking Dexter here. This one may sound a slight bit disrespectful, but I will take the Bearcats by 21. I could see that happening. John Burroughs versus Live for Life on Saturday. Live for Life, they just beat undefeated St. Francis Borgia, no longer undefeated, 9-1 now. They end their season 9-1. John Burroughs, they've got 2 losses, right? Yeah, 9-2. And this is a home game for Burroughs. But, I think Live for Life, they had a top 10 toughest schedule in Missouri. I think that made them ready for Class 3. I think they win the district championship over John Burroughs. I think they win by 16 on Saturday. And, they'll host Dexter. So, I don't know. Maybe that's where my runner-up comes to an end. I don't know if Live for Life necessarily has the means to make it to the Class 3 championship, but they're a good football team, and, it's about time. If you haven't put respect on them, you got to do it because they're a good team. Class 3 game of the week as we wrap up this video. Stratford versus Mount Vernon. I was just at Mount Vernon last week, and then I was watching Stratford week 9 at Fairgrove. So I've seen both of these 2 teams in the past 3 weeks. I think overall Stratford is the better team. I think they win the district championship, but I think it ends up being a pretty close game. That's a one to watch in Class 3 if we're going to be honest. That could be pretty big. I think the winner ends up playing Seneca, so it will be at Seneca. And both of these teams are Springfield area. Seneca is also Springfield area. So, state quarterfinals, you're not having to travel too far, and that's going to be a good thing. If they're able to upset Seneca, either one of these teams able to upset Seneca, then they host the Final Four, which would be big, especially if a team like Dexter or St. Genevieve has to travel, from the bottom right of the state all the way to the bottom left of the state. That's like a 3-hour drive. And, I guess they'll probably stay the night before and won't be too jet lagged, but still, that's travel, especially for the fans. That means a lot less fans. And I think this ends up being a pretty fun game. We'll see how this all goes. But tomorrow, I'll predict Class 4, 5, and 6. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make that a 10-minute video. We'll see. I'll probably drag along a little bit. Hopefully this one's 10 to 15. I guess we'll see once I end up editing it. But that's all I've got for today. This has been Missouri Sports Talk. See you next time.